Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to the Outer Worlds, where last time we were busy reading so many messages dumped onto this terminal. So many messages. More than I expected. But before we get to that point, I was thinking about the entire thing that's happening here. Like, one of the comparisons that I've been making is the idea that this plot point is very similar to Serenity's Reavers. And it has a lot of the same ideas, but there are some key differences. Serenity's Reavers focus more on calm. I feel that... I suppose I'm just spitballing here. But, like, you look at Serenity and the Reavers in it, and it feels more like a criticism of something like Prozac. Something that is like a drug that's meant to calm. Not necessarily used for a condition. Like, not necessarily used to treat anxiety, but to just treat everybody. So that everybody feels that same numbness, or like that lack of any aggression. Like, to treat any bit of anger as though everybody needed to be treated in the exact same manner. It's not necessarily compliance that they're looking for, but calm. Whereas the compliance here is an interesting wrench in the system, especially when you consider previous storylines in this game. Such as, oh, by the way, I'm going to fix my gun so that gun icon doesn't have to be sitting there. Previous storylines in this game, such as, more specifically, let's go all the way back to the beginning of the game, where there are people suffering from the plague. There are cures available for the plague. But they're kind of being rationed out. People are figuring out ways to get around the system in order to get cures, such as how somebody asks me to find a batch of medicine, and then somebody else is asked me to distribute said medicine. And that is how that medicine ended up getting distributed amongst the community. Though that was more like, that would be considered more lack of compliance. But as it turns out, as I got farther into that storyline, it was revealed that it was the salt tuna, the terrible diet that these people are under, that caused the plague. The people in the other town who were eating vegetables, mind you, vegetables that were growing with human corpse fertilizer, but still vegetables nonetheless, were surviving. There was no question as to whether or not the people who lived in Emerald Vale didn't question the idea that they should not be eating salt tuna. They were fed, literally, I suppose, literally, and, what is, oh my gosh, trying to remember a word at the last minute. Literally, and the other thing that's non-literally. The idea that they are a canning town. Figuratively. Wow. They're a canning town. They can tuna, they eat canned tuna. You don't see any of the people who collect the medicine question whether or not they are doing something that causes the plague. Or they are being fed a lie that causes the plague. Even the leader of Emerald Vale, he didn't necessarily question the validity of whether or not eating that salt tuna was causing the problems for everyone. All he was concerned about was maintaining the flow of medicine to the people he felt deserved it most. He didn't question the idea that it was the salt tuna that was killing them. Like, already there is a certain level of compliance that is built into the system. Into the system of the into the society that the Halcyon requires of its people. You need to be compliant to the colony already. without even worrying about the idea of adrenatime. So the entire, the idea of adrenatime being a drug created as something that is meant to boost both productivity and compliance makes a lot of sense for the board, for something that the board might approve, which is why I suppose prisoners ended up as test subjects. I would wonder, though, how would you exactly create a drug that tests compliance? Like, what faculties of the brain would these drugs be pumped into to cause said compliance? Clearly, the people here did not know because they screwed it all up. All right, incoming messages. In light of certain recent incidents, I'd like to remind you all that it is paramount that we follow all Spacer Choice guidelines regarding safety and security. Yes, you will suffer professional and financial consequences if you are found to be responsible for damaging company property. But here at HIA, inattentiveness and recklessness also endanger highly limited company resources and threaten our overall production schedule. Think about what we are all here to achieve. Then consider whether you want to be the one that lets this all down. Luckily, any and all injuries suffered by the volunteers this past week have been minor. All testing will proceed as scheduled. A reminder that all personnel are advised to report to the infirmary if they experience any symptoms listed on the notice LeBlanc provided earlier this month. It is strongly suggested that you use your allotted break to do this, as any losses to productivity will be reflected in your paycheck and/or indentureship agreement. And that's another thing, contracted into compliance. Hey, you and Andre talk about tossball sometimes, right? Have you noticed anything different about him lately? I'm pretty sure he's been at his desk all night. I was going to congratulate him on his newfound productivity, but I took a look at his reports just now, and some of them have very basic formatting errors. It's not like him at all. Maybe you could ask him about it. If something's wrong with his terminal, he should probably get it taken care of sooner rather than later. Has Andre been, huffing the adrenatime? If we're going to meet OCI's figures this month, we'll need to double our testing capacity over the next few weeks. To that end, I need everyone in observation to work with disposal to have the preparation time between tests. Have the volunteers exit at a jog if you have to. Just try not to let them see the bodies. Okay, there's smart testing, and then there's just throw your subjects in and hope for the best. Look, Embry lost his head because he couldn't keep up with the work. He was never going to amount to anything, we all know it. The surprise is that he lasted this long. I don't know why my reports are any of your business to begin with, but I know how to use a damn computer. I bet Weaver put you up to this. I've been working twice as hard as anyone else in this office this month, and now she thinks I'm going to outpace her. But maybe it's simpler than that. These emails used to just be a nuisance. Now I'm starting to think maybe your loyalties to some other corporation. Ooh. There's some drama here. I mean, they're probably dead, so I suppose that drama only led so far. Let's see. Hey, Andre. Dr. Blakesley started to come down here pretty often, usually for the morning shift. She hasn't said anything, just watches us go through the tests for a while, and then gets up and walks out. Weaver tried to give her a report, I think, but Blakesley gave her a look, and that was the end of it. You think we're doing something wrong? You tell me if you knew anything, right? I'll split my lunch with you again. Oh, hey, great game last night, huh? Huh. Yeah, we're going back to mannequins for Phase 5. None of the test subjects felt too torn up about shooting killer bugs from Monarch, I guess. Should make things easier for you in disposal, right? The best thing is that one of the cages didn't close properly last night, and a couple of the little manipillars got loose. Who knows where they are by now? Marley had an absolute fit. I don't think he likes bugs. Is this an early warning that I'm going to be fighting mantisaurs? In a bit. Also, only partially remember which way I was going. So with any luck, this is the way forward.
Why do I get the feeling we haven't seen the worst of this place?
Pressurized injection mask completely covers the airways of the subject, allowing for exacting control of gas compositions used in the experiments. Many subjects report that this helmet doesn't feel suffocating. Ugh. The pressurized injection suit uses a series of pressurized mechanical syringes to feed precise dosages of liquid compounds directly into test subject's bloodstream at multiple points throughout the body. It's all very scientific. That is horrific. The idea, like, it's bad enough that they're kind of like jabbing these people with untested liquids, some of which have been tested and they know cause psychosis, and they haven't really changed the formula, so they're just doing more tests, I guess. But now you have an entire suit. Ooh, what was that? An entire suit dedicated to jabbing people with syringes. Like, you don't even need a doctor to inject the formula. They're the patient's own clothes are doing that.
I don't want to see no more. I can't take this.
Oh my.
I'm washing my memory out with a bottle of Spectrum Red once we're back on the ship.
Is this where the bodies go? Oh, then I'm back here. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. Oh. Oh. Ugh. Oh. That is horrifying. Wow. That was worse than I was expecting. Oh my gosh. Not only are... If they just burned the bodies, I would have been like, okay, they're evil. They have a machine that cubes them. Jesus. Oh. Let's see. I don't want to play anymore. Let's just do our jobs, okay? Huh. Alright, my 10 bits are in 52F. I know what you're thinking. He's so skinny, that's got to be bad eyes. But I'm a gambling man, Victoria, and I've got an eye for this now. What do you think? Oof. No, I'm not talking about the subject, Vicky. I'm talking about the numbers. I've been keeping track of how many bodies we process every day and every week, and the number fluctuates, but never too much. 1 and 3, 2 and 5, and 1 and 1 and 2, and then 10. Just look at the chart I left on your desk. You can see for yourself that there's a pattern. You see it, right? Huh. It's like everybody knew something was wrong. But everybody was already compliant enough to the company that they weren't willing to... I'll try... how about this? From now on, I won't say the word compliant, because I think I've gotten that message across. But, like, the loyalty that is demanded... Oh. No, I do not have a thesaurus sitting next to me. The loyalty that's demanded by the company... that, like, these scientists would do horrible things to people and not even question their acts. Like, at some point, when does the end no longer justify the means? Hold on. This isn't about a few volunteers, Morley. Most of the test group SC-22A is already gone. Subject 17 is nonverbal, but we've had some luck using small amounts of the compound to coax him into the testing rooms. To be honest, some of the staff are starting to worry me too. It's not just that ghoul and disposal either. Weaver's convinced that the compound's getting into the ventilation system somehow. I've caught her scrubbing her hands raw at the washing stations. I've tried reciting our safety protocols to her, but it hasn't seemed to help. I'm starting to think that she might not be wrong. Marley, pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and whip up condolence letters. Something saccharine and noble. Feel free to invent next of kin if there are none on the record. Use the cheap paper. Leave the letters on my desk. I'll dispose of them shortly. This notice is to inform all HIA staff that testing associate Angus Ron is no longer a Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals employee effective immediately. As valued members of the Spacer's Choice family, I trust that you will all pull together to shoulder Mr. Ron's responsibility in this place. Hold on. And of course, he's the one who has the concerns. Dr. Blakesley, the missing test subject, has been found and apprehended. Apparently he got into the testing department where he remained. I'm afraid nobody noticed for several hours. Hennessy had him doing paperwork. I think it's clear that at this point that subject SC44B-12 didn't get out on his own. As far as we can tell, he didn't have much of an escape plan. The door was simply unlocked for a short period of time during the night. In the meantime, I've made it clear to security forces that no further breaches will be tolerated. So their test subject got out and was just doing paperwork, and nobody noticed. Nobody could tell the difference between the test subjects and the employees. Morley, how do I delete this message? Clarence, the latest results are in. As you hoped, you'll find that the violent cases now account for a smaller overall percentage of the testing pool. I expect that will change in about 2 or 3 weeks, so you better get that report out to Goodfellow in a hurry. In the meantime, dosing all of the test subjects means that HIA is now in the business of generating aggressive psychotics. So if you could take 2 minutes out of your fundamentally pointless existence to somehow make it clear to Mr. Goodfellow that I need an update on those resources I requested, as well as a matter of additional security, increased oversight at Chem, or any kind of explanation for what the fuck. Morley, if you receive any communications for Dr. Ambrose, ignore them. Also notify me at once. And don't piss yourself worrying. It won't come up on your assessments. Morley, no word from OCI. We'll keep going as we are. Say something to the staff. Break out that list of prepared statements I gave you. I suggest number 4. Remember to smile. I'm heading down to oversee today's testing personally. Make sure I'm not disturbed.
I don't know how much more of this I can take, Captain. I'm about to chew my own hands off with nerves.
Can we punch this asshole in the face, Captain? Eventually?
Soon enough. Let's see, our first test group should be here in just a few hours. I suppose I should be catching up on sleep, but it's far more important to mark the occasion. I really think we can achieve something here. Every citizen of Halcyon wants to be of use, deep down. If this compound can restore industry and work ethic even to outlaws and miscreants, we won't need places like Tartarus anymore. Dissidence will be a thing of the past. Chem has sent over its first shipment of the mystery drug, and testing chambers are operational. Once we've proven out our methods, it'll be that much easier to convince OCI to invest in better equipment. Dear Sir and or Madame, this notice is to acknowledge payment in full of all funeral expenses pertaining to Henry Blakesley. Enclosed you'll find an invoice for receipt, handling, and delivery fees, as well as a witness statement as to the exemplary loveliness of the eulogy. Spacer's Choice offers its condolences, as well as his congratulations for your unflagging work ethic. Huh. Ah. Alright, let's grab some stuff from the desk. Some adrenatime.
I'll keep it down.
Good. This gun. Marion, it's been 3 weeks. Where the fuck are the reports from HIA? Deliver them to me by the end of the day, or deliver me your letter of resignation. I'm done asking. In the future, you'll send me bi-weekly reports of HIA's status. These reports will include an inventory of test subjects, which version of the Gorgon compound they have been administered, and how frequently those administrations have occurred, and who has been administering them. To these reports, you'll append a mortality record. The record will include an accounting of the burn-down rate of your current stock of volunteers and compound ampules, in addition to a thorough analysis of their injuries. I want to see charts, Mary. Big fucking charts with lots of precious little numbers. And before you ask, bi-weekly means twice a week. Don't pretend you don't know what I mean. Marion, personalize and forward the following note to the families of the deceased volunteers. Take carbon copies and send those on to Lucian at the usual address. Make certain he gets every single one. Dear Name, it is with regret that I write to inform you of the death of your relation, Name. They died peacefully, attended by their fellows. Please accept our sympathies in this difficult time. Though it may offer you little comfort, know that your relation died in service of a better, more productive Halcyon. In accordance with the agreement, Name signed with Tartarus Corrections, a division of United Defense Logistics, their term of incarceration is now considered complete. Well, thanks. I'm glad that they're done being imprisoned after they're dead. Goodfellow. Yes, many of the subjects will still exhibited increased energy level and compliance, the same euphoric response, but they inevitably crash. Testing clearly suggests that Chem's Compound X has extreme and irreversible effects when administered repeatedly over a long period of time. Several volunteers in the old SCO2 group are barely verbal. When they do speak, it's to beg for more of the compound. I'm finding it hard to shine that up for you. Lawrence, so good you'll beg for more? Don't you dare use it. If we could dilute the compound, or even ease out the schedule, we could mitigate some of the addictive effects. Weaning some of the early test subjects off the compound might buy us time until Chem refines the formula. I need time, Lawrence. Morley, I need you to compile some of the test results from the past month. Pull a subset from the reports we've forwarded to OCI if you like, so long as there are charts. Make sure the worst of the mortality reports are up front, will you? Huh. I get the impression that Blakely actually was, or at the very least did realize that she had to do something. But again, the system is crafted in such a way that there's only so much leeway. She has to still respond to other people in charge. There's bureaucracy. At the behest of the Office of Creative Incubation, we are applying varying amounts of unknown solutions to test subjects that are already mid-treatment. What organizational schema do you imagine would miraculously restore scientific rigor to the process? Stick to the current system. Morley, pick out 2 of the deceased test subjects and condolence rivers, blah blah. Okay. We already got that. Lucian, I'm leaving this message to inform you of my resignation from the position of testing supervisor at Spacer's Choice Pharmaceuticals, effective immediately. I won't be returning to headquarters, and I wouldn't bother chasing that tracking signal unless you want to give the boys and girls in human resources some exercise. I'll warn you once, do not try and find me. Synthesis Manufacturing Center is currently locked.
Look, I've seen some messy operating tables, but this is a first, and hopefully a last.
Yeah. They must have had a reason for this. What they did here was inexcusable.
All this cruelty done to regular working folks without even a shred of regret. And what's dogging me is... why?
What I'm stuck on is this. Spacer's Choice knew what Adrena Time would do, and they released it anyway.
Somehow, this doesn't surprise me.
If only their handguns were as deadly.
Maybe Miss Ambrose can help fix things once she's cleared her family name. She could hold the board's feet to the fire. Make them pay.
Only one way to find where this leads. Come on. Nope, still closed. Is that even on the map? It is not even on the map. Okay, let us save our game. Get out of here. We have at least one more facility to travel to. Now, in all of that, we don't really know Ambrose's position in this. We've been hearing a lot about Blakely from this facility. Oh, I also need to do that too. Okay, so it looks like I have to find the other doctor, because I need to find the doctor in order to probably access another building, in order to then access the building I want to go to.
What they did here? I ain't ever gonna shake this.
Yeah. I understand completely. The Human Auditing and Inquiry Facility is a dedicated research facility and houses a considerable quantity of hazardous materials, machinery, and personnel. As such, no external visitors are to be permitted at any time absent express written permission from HIA testing supervisor Dr. Marion Blakesley. If you suspect a visitor does not have the appropriate credentials, please observe the following procedure. Stay calm. Notify security personnel of your suspicions. Wait for security personnel and/or equipment to finish disposing of the visitor. Complete an incident report per official guidelines. Remember to use Spacer's Choice approved formatting and language. At no point should you leave the workstation unattended. Leaving your workstation unattended will be considered a severe security breach and may result in a fine and/or summary termination of your employment with Spacer's Choice. Your supervisor has posted the following addendums. Right, that's the official shit. If we do get visitors, inform me at once. If from the other departments, if it's Dr. Ambrose, don't get in her way, but log her every move. If it's Clarence Mostly, keep it at reception. I'll come down in person to see this law-given miracle for myself. If Jasper Lowe or anyone from Chem turns up, let them stew at reception. I'll send Assistant Morley down eventually. HIA is on lockdown until further notice. Do not let anyone in the facility until the escaped volunteers are located. I'm going to check volunteer induction for any sign of our fugitives. If you receive any keycard access notifications in the next 20 minutes, ignore them. Huh. Somewhat suspicious. Either way, it looks like we are ready to move on.
Captain, an unknown vessel is approaching our ship. Their intentions are currently indeterminate. Once I deduce their intentions, I will play one of two audio signals. A cheerful fanfare if they are friendly, alarms if they are hostile. Their intentions are no longer unknown.
Oh. Status report, Ada.
The unknown vessel has deployed a boarding mechanism. They will attach themselves to our airlock and attempt boarding shortly. That sound indicates that a boarding mechanism has successfully attached to our airlock. Captain, I am pleased to inform you that we are currently in the process of being boarded.
Ada, your priorities? You're not supposed to be pleased to tell me we're being boarded, Ada.
I have been programmed to simulate joy and excitement at the opportunity to test my limited defensive capabilities. Captain Hawthorne installed a lethal shock trap on our airlock in the event of an invasion. I am prepared to deploy this trap at a moment's notice.
So when you said you had a marauder deterrence system back in Emerald Vale...
I was bluffing, Captain. When we met in Emerald Vale, my systems were not fully operational. Even if they were, I might have made an exception for you. The invading ship appears to be a decommissioned storage vessel. The crew are either pirates or freelancers. My opinion of their competence is low.
Let them know I'm flattered, but I wish they'd bought me dinner first.
That is unlikely. Judging by the state of the invading ship and the competence of the boarding party, I deduce they are incapable of paying for dinner. Their ship is using a tracking device too sophisticated for their primitive astrogator. I conclude they are receiving outside assistance. If you prefer to make an escape, I can disable their boarding mechanism. However, as long as that tracking device remains on board their ship, they will be able to find us again.
I'll go deal with them myself.
Understood, Captain. I will be deploying the Unreliable's lethal deterrence system. Please approach the airlock and enjoy the show. Now initiating warm welcome protocol.
We gotta talk about this.
Nice. Can she do that again?
All right. All right. Who have we got here? Looks like we got a bunch of dead guys. Freebooters? Oh no, I've stolen. Not that it matters. Like, I'm going to be murdering these guys anyway. Coach Stiley's credentials. Is this a tossball team? Ooh, tactical shotgun. How much is my inventory at? 201 out of 330. I might have to deal with that sometime soon. Oh, I have that. Fantastic. So in theory, there should be a tracking device somewhere on this ship. I would imagine in the bridge. And I'll probably fight the captain of this ship over there, too. Oh, hello. All right. Am I basically decimating a tossball team that is like a pirate when they're not being a tossball player? That seems to be the case. What are you trying to do there?
You know, I'm a little disappointed. I was hoping you'd play by the rules. We could have had a good old-fashioned boarding. Now you're barging into my office, muddying tracks all over my floor. A little respect for the ship. Is that too much to ask?
Is this the mystery guy? Have we met? I've never respected... Have you met me? I've never respected anybody's personal space. Hey, you were boarding my ship, asshole.
Yeah, but I had every intention of respecting the upholstery. I would have had you spaced or shot in the bathroom or something. You're the captain of the Unreliable. You dropped out of the sky in Emerald Vale, and whatever you've been doing on Gorgon, you've upset my employer. You and I are in a bit of a situation. I don't get paid unless you're dead. And a man's gotta make a living. You understand.
I understand you want to walk away alive. Do I care about this guy walking away alive? Let's talk terms.
Well, it's not like I've got much of a choice here. If you're willing to be reasonable, I'm willing to put away the coach persona.
Who sent you and what do you want?
My team and I were contracted to apprehend the Unreliable, eliminate its crew, and dispose of the captain. I couldn't tell you who hired me even if I wanted to. The contract's anonymous. No names, no faces, just money and a target. I can't turn down a job like that. You understand.
I asked because I'm a recruiter. Groundbreaker's putting a tossball team together. Maybe you can take whoever survived my shooting spree.
You're a recruiter? Good law, why didn't you lead with that? If you're willing to recommend me to Groundbreaker, I'm willing to forget I ever had a contract on you. What do you say?
Sure, if you're willing to forget, I probably shot some of your players. Groundbreaker could use a good coach, but I guess sure, if you're willing to forget, I probably shot some of your players.
Collateral damage. They were always expendable. Honestly, don't give it a second thought.
Oh, okay.
I appreciate you putting in a good word for me. You don't know how long I've been wanting to play professional tossball again. I'll keep my ship clear of yours. You and I will never cross orbits again.
That's what I'd like to hear.
I got no reason to come after you. Use my credentials to get inside the cockpit and take our tracking device. Our astrogation terminal was tracking your ship. Don't ask me how. Never had much luck with computing devices myself.
And what are you going to tell your employer?
The truth. We never caught up to the Unreliable. You vanished somewhere into the void. Astrogator never picked up your location again.
Okay, I'm leaving. Yeah, I guess I shot up all of his players. Guess he's just gonna have to recruit a new tossball team. Let's see. Inventory logs. This vessel has been decommissioned by the Firefly Company. Oh, this blah blah blah. Firefly Energy Cells, Firefly Energy Cells, Firefly Freebooters Tossball Team. Cargo delivery failed. Vendor no longer exists. Outpost no longer recognized. Cargo discontinued. Vessel decommissioned. Let us remove the tracking device. Excellent! Are there more mercenaries to deal with? I don't think I saw anybody else.
Hey, boss. I've been thinking.
What have you been thinking?
Got my head in the game, boss. Maybe we can talk when we're done here?
Not a bad idea.
Welcome back, Captain. I understand you have resolved your differences with our former boarding party. Are you ready to depart?
Let's get going.
Understood, Captain. Resuming our course.
All right. Now, I believe Felix wanted to talk. Let's see if we can find him.
Oh, hello, Captain.
Hello. I'm sure what he wants is probably very important. Oh my, hello. Oh, there he is. It's Anubis. I was wondering what that noise was.
Done with the place. Kitschy collectibles are such a human inclination.
Thanks. All right. Things don't seem to be going very well here, so I think this is where we're going to stop for the night. Figure out what's going on with this Dr. Law. Yeah, this Dr. Jasper Lowe. Next time. In the meantime, got any suggestions for something to play next? Leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.